anything. You know, I added the dip last week, earlier this week, and I have no cash left to put in the market, so that's it.
How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. I wanted to play part of an interview for you from Raoul Paul. Now, he talked about everything that's happening in crypto right now. He talked about what's happening with the SEC. He talked about what's happening with China. He talks about price predictions. He talks about how he has $0 left because he bought the dip so hard. He gives his thought on what's going to happen over the coming days and over the coming months. Now, I'm going to play it for you. I will have timestamps underneath the video in case you want to skip to anything. I will lay it out there. Also, this is coming from their own YouTube channel. So if you guys want to see the longer version of it, you can look up their channel, Real Vision, and you can find it on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit the like button and the subscribe button so I know that you guys like videos like this. And you can check out the link underneath the video to get an interest rate on your crypto through BlockFi. Thank you guys, and let's get into it.
I don't think it's really much of an extension. What they're trying to do is clean up the leakages, I think, ahead of the launch of the digital yuan. Yeah. And so it's more about that and more about illegal capital flight and just cleaning up their own financial system than it is. I mean, as far as we can see, it's not an outright ban for owning crypto. Really what they're trying to do is get people stop people moving money outside of the Chinese system. And I understand why that is as well. So it sounds like big news. I don't think it is big news. I don't think it's like China bans everybody ever using crypto ever and they're all going to go to the gulags if they do. I don't think that's the case. They've also obviously got rid of mining, as we're aware of, and there's probably still, because within one of the statements was another reference to mining, so there's probably still mining activity going on. You know, it's a big country, and so they do want to stop the mining because, you know, I believe that the stopping of the mining is about both for the green energy part, but really it's about the competition for electrical resources. Because you know, there is a scarce supply of some commodities right now, and the last thing they want is to raise electricity prices on the general population. These things are noise. We've just had a decent run up. We've been correcting for the last few days. You know, we had a sharp move, and nobody really knew what the news was. It was probably part of this, and fine. It's kind of normal, I think, for most participants are so used to it. And anybody who's been in for a while, I mean, we had a 50% correction already. So like, this is like, throw me a 20% correction, I don't care. What is interesting is Bitcoin is very much following, we've talked about this before, its pattern from 2013. And Ethereum is following the Bitcoin pattern from 2017. And things like Solana are following the Ethereum pattern from 2017. And they all kind of suggest that this might be a decent entry point for a large run up to the end of the year. And that's how I'm thinking of this. All people who are trained in negotiation skills will set the boundary hard in the most extreme they can. All trade negotiations, everything happens that way. And then what happens is you then go to the negotiating table and you're looking for a compromise and you're looking to get over your side of the line. So firstly, there's a couple of battles going on. Gensler has not got the right entirely to regulate crypto. There's the OCC and the CFTC, and maybe even the Fed themselves who are interested in this. So there is a fight within Washington who regulates this. But obviously, if you're the head of the Securities Exchange Commission, then you want the word security to be attached to everything as opposed to currency, because that goes to the OCC, right? So this is politics for starters. But the question is are most cryptocurrencies securities under the definition? And the interview with Michael Saylor that's out on the platform today on Real Vision Crypto, we talk about this and they probably are. And that's what freaks everybody out. Oh my God, it's a security. The security thing is a red herring, because what does that mean? What it means is to issue things, you would have to have more regulatory red tape. It's very costly to do. If it's security, you can only issue it to certain people. So what are they going to do? Are they going to go back and prosecute 7,500 people for all of the tokens that have been launched? No, that's ridiculous. Are they going to cherry pick a few and try and take them to court? Yes, that's where the battle starts. What is a security and what does it mean? The end result is going to be a grand bargain, because securities laws written in 1934 are simply not suitable for this current time. And so the securities law themselves will have to change. Whether it's a digital asset law that comes into place or they rewrite securities laws, but that will change. Also, if you think about the political backdrop about the 99% and the 1%, the rich getting richer, if you honestly think it's a good idea to not give the public access to the best investment class in terms of performance the world has ever seen, then you are really making some bad decisions. So what does he want to do? He talks about basically consumer safety. And consumer safety, that's going to be about, I think, the onus has to go on the consumer. You and I can go to Vegas and throw anything on the table and lose it all, everything. We can mortgage the house and do it. No regulation, zero. But heaven forbid if we buy a token, because it might be a scam. Really, if that's the issue, then firstly give people warnings. You know, maybe the exchanges say if you want to buy this, you have to understand it's a high-risk asset because it's a low market cap, and therefore you should be aware that you could lose everything. That's okay. Risk warnings are fine. But to say you can't take a risk is crazy. This is why Wall Street gets richer all the time, because to get access, you have to do it via a financial institution. It's the same with venture capital. Yes, we can do some crowdfunding stuff now, and it's opened up a bit, but it's still not fully opened up unless you're an accredited investor. So apparently if you have $1 million, you're not dumb money, and anybody less than $1 million is dumb money. I mean, that's insulting to people. What, does money define your ability to understand risk? No. Does it define your ability to take risk? No. What defines your ability to take risk is how much a percentage of your assets you're going to risk in it, which is risk management. Two different things. So all of this is going to have to change. The accredited investor rules, they're going to have to change. Just simply not acceptable to force the millennials, 86 million of them, out of a marketplace because somebody in Washington says, well, they're not safe for you guys, but leave it to us. Let the other guys deal with that, the rich guys and Wall Street, and we'll give you a product after we've layered in some fees. No, just not going to happen. So there is a fight that's going to come. The industry will not accept this, and there will be a compromise, because we know there's KYC, we know there's AML. Those are without question going to happen. Tax compliance without question will happen. And then beyond that, there has to be risk warnings, caveat emptor, let the buyer beware. And there has to be some regulation, some oversight over scams. So there's maybe some way of getting back money and other insights. But for somebody to have, who's got the power, the voice of God, to say that is a scam and that is not a scam? Oh, well, Polkadot, well, that could be a security. You can't invest in that unless you've got $1 million. Or this is just cannot happen. If the US does this, this is the fastest growing adoption of any technology in all human history. There's 150 million people worldwide using crypto right now. By my estimate, we get to a billion people by 2024. If that's the case, then this market is going offshore. It is not going away. And so regulating people, all you're doing is hampering the investment choices and the future earnings of millions of Americans. So I understand what he's doing now. He's laying out the stall. Everyone's going to have to go through court cases, Ripple being one of the first ones. And then a bunch of people are going to go to court over this, and there's going to be a big fight, and there's going to be a bunch of lobbyists that are going to have to be created for the industry. So this is not going away quickly, and it's going to scare the market occasionally. And then there's going to be a lot of FUD of people on Twitter going, see, they're going to ban Ethereum as a thing. You must buy Bitcoin, all of this nonsense. Everyone just calm down. This is going to take some time, and it is expected, and it has to happen. We have to get the regulations changed, and the SEC will work with everybody in the end. It's too big an industry.
What are you going to be looking at yourself to make determinations about what's happening in these markets? How are you thinking about it, and what are the dials you're going to be watching?
Nothing is going to change versus the macro backdrop of network adoption. So we're at the point in the cycle where network adoption is very strong. I don't see a change in that. So really, it's where are we and when does this correction finish, which I think finishes in the next 2 or 3 days, if my work is right. And then, if I'm right, we should start to see accelerated moves. So that's what I'm looking for, something to confirm my thesis. And my thesis is based that October, November, December are ridiculous. So I use a lot of charts for that. Start to look at, how some of the other protocols and tokens are performing versus Ethereum and Bitcoin, because we should see it further out on the risk curve still. So we should see, over time that that Ether Bitcoin cross, I think that's got almost up to the 0.08. It came down again. Where is it now? 0.07. I think once it goes through 0.08, that'll be the signal for the next phase in this whole crypto market, which is usually the rewarding phase. But it's just a thesis, and it could change. So I don't know. But I'm not changing or doing anything. I added the dip last week, earlier this week, and I have no cash left to put in the market. So that's it.